Om Vang me manasi pratisthita mano me vachi pratishthitam aviravirma edhi vedasyama anistha shrutam me ma prahasihi anena dhitena horatran samdadhami ritam vadishyami satyam vadishyami tanmamavatu tadvaktaramavatu avatu mam avatu vaktaram avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Raibhi asidhanudei narashamsi niyojani suryaya bhadramidvaso gathaya iti parishkritam. Raibhi was her dear bridal friend, and Narashamsi led her home. Lovely was Surya's robe. She came to that to that which Gatha had adorned. Now these words, Raibhi, Narashamsi, Gatha, these are not translated by Griffith. Raibhi was the giver of wealth. The praise of flame, Narashamsi, was her consort. The dress of Surya was delight, Bhadram, and by the song Gathaya, it was decorated. It came to be totally parishkritam, well organized, well completed, decorated. Now these are the words. Raibha is from Rebhas, Ribhu from here. Here in the dictionary you can find only containing several repetitions of the word Rebha or ritualistic verses. They do not know what it is actually. There is a root rib from which Rebhati is produced, is to crackle, also to murmur or to chatter, or to talk aloud, or to shout even, to sing or to praise. So Raivi is some kind of praising force, was her dear bridal friend. She was praising her all the time. Oh, how beautiful your dress is. And Narashamsi is an interesting word because Narashamsa is the epithet to Agni, and the one who praises Nara. Literally, it is the Bahuvrihi compound praised by the soul, so to say. Nara is seen as the soul or the heroic power of the soul. So Narashansi is the power which is praising the heroic deeds of the soul, let us say, was her consort. Heroic deeds of the soul could be, I know I'm going deeper into the rabbit hole, is something interesting because the soul decided to actually marry. Surya, who is the bridal, who is the daughter of the sun, daughter of the supermind, decided to descend and to marry the involved, so to say, divinity within the matter, Soma, so to say, entered into this manifestation. And of course, she will have these consorts, or friends around her. Raibi was the giver of wealth. The praise of flame or soul was her consort. The dress of Surya was delight. Interesting. And by the song it was decorated. By the self-expression of the spirit, it was decorated. Now I'm going totally into the spiritual interpretation of the hymn. Chitti a upabarhanam chakshuh a abhya anjanam dyaur bhumi kosha asit dyaur bhumi kosha asit yat ayat surya patim. They're missing syllables in there. Anushtup. Maybe then diyauh bhumi kosha asit. You see the construction. Yad ayat surya patim. Then when we deconstruct, we have eight syllables. Conscious concentration. This is my interpretation. This is Griffith. Conscious concentration was her extension there. Now I translate Upabarhanam, which is usually translated as the cushion or something, a couch or pillow on her couch, well, because they want to find the kind of correspondence to the physical life, and the words signify both our spiritual understanding of the root and that contextual meaning which they brought to our things around us. Yeah? So the scholars of this kind, of his kind, as Griffith and all the Western tradition, will be finding the correspondence to the physical matters, physical things. But if you look into Upabarhanam as the word, it's from root brich, to extend around. Extension around was her chitti, conscious concentration, or even absorption into consciousness was her emanation around. Yeah, something like this. Chakshukh abhyanjanam, and her vision like the abhyanjana. I didn't translate abhyanjana. It is anjana is like the drops for the eyes, which make the sight clearer. Abhyanjanam, all around clearing sight, clearing thing, which makes things clear, or even soothing and clearing, making them seen as blissful. Heaven and earth were her sheath, vessel, container. I put several words. Dyauh, bhumich, heaven, bhumich, earth, kosha, asit, was kosha. Kosha is the, as the vessel, as a container. So heaven and earth as her container is also very interesting because it is considered that the heaven and earth are usually in the later literature. If you see it in the Taittiriya Samhita, it will be identified with the bride's thighs, because these thighs and yoni, they embody the whole world. The womb within, between these thighs, interesting, these are the container. They are holding from below and from above the whole creature, the creation. So Dyauch and Bhumich are her container. And when she went to her Lord, and Surya ayat her to her Lord Patim, to her future husband. Thought was the pillow of her couch. This is Griffith. Sight was the unguent for her eyes. Don't know the word. Her treasury was earth and heaven when Surya went unto her Lord. When we see the translations of the Western scholars, of course, we gather nothing at all. And cushions and this and that. I found this very interesting. Chitti from root chi, to concentrate, chit from here, consciousness. Chitta is another word for the remembrance or the holding, focusing the things experienced. The concentration was her extension. Upabaranam was kind of her focus, her conscious concentration felt around her. And chakshu, her seeing, her vision was enlightening here, not soothing, clearing here. Enlightening is good. And heaven and earth were her container. And when she went to her husband. Stoma asan pratidhayach kuriram chanda opashach suryaya ashvinavara agnir asit purogavach. Hymns were the crossbars of the pole, kurira meter decked the car, the bridesmen were the Ashwin pair, Agni was leader of the train. Interpretation. The affirmation hymns, stoma, these are the hymns which affirm the divinity within us, were her protections, were her kind of, you can see the word paridhi. I don't know whether I took it here. No, I even didn't take it. It is the fence. It was fencing. The affirmation of the deity or the affirmation of the divine within her was her protections. The Vedic word was their support, chandas. Chandas, maybe that is not a good word, it was her support. Kurira, you will not find anything for kurira. Kind of headdress for women. That's what they believe this is in this hymn. But this is all, what do you call it? Yeah, the same. Translation by someone. Unknown word, meant only here in this hymn, so you can't know what it means, yes? Mm. So the affirmation hymns were her protections. The Vedic meter, chandas, was her support. Opashach. Opashach, I also put it as only Vedic word. Met only you see in few hymns here, 1, 2, 3 hymns. Cushion pillar, support stay pillar. Cushion, again, another cushion was there. Chandas was a cushion. No, it was a support. It supported her. The meter was holding her together. Meter holds the meaning of the words together. Meter is the power which holds the knowledge within itself. Yes. So that meter was that Kuriram. The Vedic word was her support. Ashwins were her bridesmen, and Agni was a leader of the right. Now, Ashwins will be mentioned twice, or even more in this hymn. Ashwins, it is those, if you remember in the vision of the marrying of Surya, they are driving the chariot in which Usha is sitting, yes, in the other hymns to Usha. They are the bridesmen of the dawn or of the Divine Mother. They bring her in their chariot. And Agni was in front, yes, the leader, Purogavach. Purogavach, interesting word. In front, Gavach, light in front, or the bull in front, if you will. If you translate Gava as bull or Gava as the ray of light. It's all the description of the bride. Now we come to Soma. Somo vadhuyu abhavat. Soma was longing for his wife, bridegroom. Soma was a bridegroom longing for his wife. I say longing for his wife because vadhuyu is actually the one who seeks Vadhu, who wants his lover. So he actually, yes, aspired, or so to say, expected his wife to come to him, or was longing for her. It's an important here for why it is. We will look into it in a minute. Ashwina Astam Ubhavara, again Ashwinas are mentioned. Ashwinas were both Vara, the bride groomsman. Suryam Yatpati Shamsantim. Suryam Yatpatye Shamsantim Manasa Savita Dadat. Okay, I messed up. I kind of mixed up reading and translation. Let me start again. Somo vadha yuhabhavat ashvina astam ashvinastam ubhavaram suryam yat patye shamsantim manasa savita dadat. Soma was he who wooed the maid, the groomsmen were both Ashwins when the sun god Savita bestowed his willing Surya on her lord. Soma was bridegroom longing for his wife. Ashwins were two groomsmen. And when supramental sun bestowed Surya, his daughter, agreeing in her mind upon her lord. So Manasab Shamsantim, as if agreeing in her mind. Interesting that Manas is mentioned here. She agreed, he translates it willing, Surya, simply. And I kind of read it the other day and had this insight, some kind of glimpse. There is an intuition here that Surya, the Lord of the Supermind, gave his daughter Surya to her new husband. New is important word. New husband, Soma. The power of the spiritual soul was given to Soma for the formation of it in the world. With this combination of the transcendental light of the sun and the cosmic delight of the universe, the formation of all the multiple creation is possible. So there are two calendars, also this solar and lunar, and they constitute basically our nature, yes, our soul development and our body development. Soma belongs to this nakshatric world of Shiva, so to say. Soma, nakshatras, all this universe around the moon, as their leader, as their husband of all these nakshatras. And the Surya, this supramind, is the source of all our souls. So when they marry, so to say, the manifestation on earth takes place. The human being is born. Human being has two parts in it. The soul coming from the sun. It is Surya who brings it here, not the husband, but the wife, interestingly, the Divine Mother. And the Rishika of this hymn is Savitri, the Divine Mother, and Soma, the delight of existence in the matter, that essential, quintessential delight, intrinsic in built-in matter, in all the greenery, in all the Earth's atmosphere. It can happen only on Earth. Only on Earth Soma is possible. So Soma, related to the moon and nakshatras, is a provider of that divine delight here in the body. As Sri Aurobindo says, it is sensual delight. Interesting. It's essential. It's the physical delight in the greenery, in the food, in the enjoyment of manifestation in time and space in the body. So Surya decided or agreed in her mind to really give herself to this material existence. Now, you see here, I write, see Sri Aurobindo's story about the beginning of human race. In the Mother India, there was once publication made of Sri Aurobindo's visions of the beginning of a human race. It was not meant for publication, but they published it anyhow. But what was amazing there is that how he describes these visions. He speaks about lofty extraterrestrial beings, divine beings, but they were typal beings. They could fly, they were lofty, they were half transparent, full of light. And he saw the vision how these superior beings gave themselves to the aboriginals of Earth, to the monkeys, to be captured and to be mixed with them, and he describes one pregnant, lofty being and the other being captured by these aboriginals. They wanted them very much because that was like a prestige thing to have the divine beings captured by these aboriginals. Why they did this, explanation of his is that they discovered that on Earth the evolution in the body is possible and the transformation of consciousness can take place. These aboriginal monkeys could evolve in the body because of Earth atmosphere, because of soma in it. So they decided to make this sacrifice, to give themselves to the lower race to be captured, and somewhere even he writes about this. The captured one became the one who captured actually the rest. So he is not captured; he's actually captured them by being captured. So from this mixture of two races, the new race of human race came into being. This was the sacrifice of the divine to the lower manifestation in order to evolve. So they could save their race, their typal race, but by sacrificing themselves to these Aboriginal tribes. It made totally sense for a moment, for one glimpse for me, why she is the daughter of the sun. There were daughters captured and they were impregnated and they brought a new type, a new race into being, which was evolving and which had a soul. The soul started to evolve, so to say. It sounds like a myth, even more than a myth, something more. But these stories we find in the Rig Veda, where apsaras are constantly interacting with rishis and human beings, kings, yes. Urvashi married the Pururavas, who was the first king of the lunar dynasty, notice. Lunar dynasties, and Urvashi, the apsaras of heaven. Again, Urvashi means wide thighs. Again, wide thighs. Why wide thighs? Of course, Westerners will think about big, But it has nothing to do with that. I think it has something to do with heaven and earth, yeah, with vast support. Everywhere in all civilizations, in Japan, in Korea, in China, in India, in all the rest European nations, we have always mentioning of two races. One is a blue blood, yeah, the rulers, the kings, they are from God, and the others are normal people. So these two is also a remnant of the thinking of that first mixture of the lofty heavenly beings with the Aboriginal race on Earth, creating and generating new type human beings. Very possibly this hymn is about this. That's why Surya and Soma, and not about anything else. Well, this is a new twist in the story. And there are also more things coming up. Mano asya ana asit, diaur asit uta chadich, diaur asit uta chadich, shukrao anadvahao astam, yat ayat surya graham. Interesting, even graham word, and everything else. Her spirit was the bridal car, the covering thereof was heaven, bright were both steers that drew it when Surya approached her husband's home. Now, husband's home. She has to go to his home, not he to hers. Also a remnant of the same. These lofty beings came to the home of the Aboriginals. Interpretation. Her mind was the carrier life. Why I'm saying carrier life, strange word. Life carrier, most probably, or carrier life. Anach. Anas is the car or the chariot, but it is from root an, to breathe. So her mind was the power which carried her life into this new domain. It is by mind that she brought herself to this embodiment here in life. Heaven was her covering roof. Also interesting. To Shukras, We do not know what are these shukras, were her steers and drew the car. Literally, two luminous beings were her steers and drew the car. When Surya went to her new home, I am adding, because she descends into this material world. The story of creation of new beings continues. The soul is choosing a new home or a new enclosure. Graham is from root grah, to enclose, to grasp. It's like graha. Graha is also grasping, catching. It's an enclosure in manifestation under the moon in nakshatras. She decides to move into her new home and to start the evolution of consciousness on earth. Soma is a hidden delight of existence found on earth, in plants and creatures, evolving in their bodies because of their psychic qualities, because of the psychic qualities of earth, better to say. You know what Mother says about this, most probably you all know, and we will start a new series on the ideal of human unity, and I will speak about this again, and maybe even mention this hymn and these verses. Because Mother says that only Earth has this special quality, psychic quality, psychic presence on Earth. That very presence which makes soul evolve and the body evolve. So she even says that if somebody wants to really change and evolve, he has to take the earthly body, has to be embodied on earth. Even great gods or asuras, rakshasas, they are typal beings, they cannot evolve. If they want to change and evolve, they have to come and take the earthly body. And you can see the whole nature is charged with psychic presence. The flowers are the most psychic expressions of this greenery, of this delight of existence in matter. This is the miraculous soma inside material creation. And that quality was needed for the bride of the son, of the daughter of the sun, to get into it and to evolve into the higher and higher consciousness. Rik sama bhyam abhitao gavao te soma, samanao itach shrotram te chakre astam divi panthach characharach. Shrotram te chakre asta am divi panthach characharach. The steers were steady, kept in place by holy verses, verse and Sama hymn, by Rik and Sama hymns. All car were thy two chariot wheels. Thy path was tremulous in the sky. By the hymns of the Rig Veda and Sama Veda, your two steers, Gavau, or your two rays of light, were established, abhihitao, and equal moving together, samana itach. So it's interesting because Rik and Saman, these are two hymns or two expressions of the highest consciousness of earth and heaven. Rik is representing earth, Rig Veda represents earth, Sama Veda, heaven. So they were equalized and moved equally together with these bullocks or with these steers, or with these two rays of light. Shrotram, the hearing, or the comprehensive consciousness of hers, te, yours, chakre astam, were two wheels which were moving the chariot. The movement in time of the chariot is the comprehension. Divipantach characharach. Your path was moving forward in the sky. We can't believe that this is a marriage hymn of the human beings. Yes, reading all this, even with its ordinary translation, it can't be that it's all about some bride going to the bridegroom in the chariot, moving forward in the sky. Shuchite chakre yatiya, vyano aksha ahatach, vyano akshach ahatach, ano manasmayam surya arohat prayatipatim. Such a diction, very beautiful. I will read my interpretation. Your two wheels, by moving, were luminous and bright. The axle of your car was Vyana breath that is spreading all around. Your car made of mind, on which Surya has mounted to move to her new Lord. So her car was mind. Mental movement of her. Okay, I will stop here because it's already over the head, I guess. And if you have any thoughts, please share. You didn't expect this twist, most probably. Yeah. But truly speaking, something of the kind must be there.
Vladimir,
yes.
Can I say something, please?
Yes, please.
It brings to mind the story of Savitri on the chariot. And when she meets Satyavan in the forest, he asks her to descend and let her feet touch the earth, which has been yearning for her along with him. So if he's a representative of the Soma and she is Surya's daughter, the chariot is the mind. It kind of all comes together.
Nice, very nice. Didn't think of Savitri. Yes, Savitri is the daughter of the sun, and she is the creator of the hymn. So actually, it was Ashwapati who called her down. Yes. He wanted to have a daughter. Interesting, that power, who didn't have the future, as it were, because he didn't have a progeny on earth. He wanted to have progeny. He wanted to have sons. He didn't want to have a daughter, but he got a daughter instead of 100 sons. And she made everything possible, yes. She married Satyavan, who is actually the soul of humanity, yes, according to Sri Aurobindo. The mother
And
came.
later,
Sorry. Go ahead.
Later in her conversation with Death, developing on this idea further, later when she's talking to Death and asking back for Satyavan, she says, we have a mission on earth to accomplish, and that is the bringing forth of the new race, the new creation. And, so that kind of knits into this entire hymn, that both Surya and Soma come together to create the psychic being. And she's driven by love. So
beautiful. So this
kind
is
of further,
ongoing, never stopping marriage of the.
yeah. That's why he calls it the eternal bride
Mm.
and the eternal groom. Started that time, new time in Savitri.
So they're constantly building and rebuilding, and with their marriage ongoing, yes, these two uh, constitute our evolution of consciousness and body on earth.
And
Right,
that's why Satyavan cannot be given to death.
right, right.
Which Vladimir brings me to a question. Is there anything further on in the hymn that opposes this marriage? Forces or
Death, death opposes.
Well, in this hymn, all the godheads join the party, yes, and they bring their gifts. They become part of the whole procedure, right? And it's exactly supporting the idea what Jayashri brought forward, the eternal marriage of the sun and moon within the human being. It is our right. On the right side is the moon and nakshatras, cosmos, a huge cosmos, cosmic home. And the left side is our solar home, which is nurturing the soul development. And these two constitute our nature on Earth. Earth itself is the combination of the two. Earth itself most probably is the product of this marriage. Yeah, it is in the solar system, and it is a moon around it. It's all kind of fitting well into the view of eternal marriage. And we are the product, yeah? So all the gods, Vishnu, everyone will join and bring their influence into this input, so to say. But opposing parties, I don't know where you need them now. It's so good without them.
I'm just asking. Sorry. No, I don't need them.
Of course, there will be opposing parties. Look at our marriages, what happens to them. What a disaster in every way. It's because we need a new marriage. Now, the new marriage of the mother coming down and marrying the humanity's soul, all the marriages collapse. All the dharmas collapse. They cannot sustain. They were sustained on different ground. Now the ground is shaken, broken, and so new foundation has to be built. And
Also, the opposition is, I think, in Savitri, he says fate. You know, Narad talks about fate and destiny opposing the will of Savitri, and therefore, the alignment with the will, the divine will, makes us overcome fate and destiny. And I don't know, that kind of
right.
is the only opposition to this.
Right. We spoke about long ago of this triangle of Fabre d'Olivier, you remember, in the occultism? The triangle. On one side, free will, on the other is rock fate. Yeah, and it has to be changed by the will, yeah, will which is not giving in. And be above is the providence, the divine providence. So if divine providence is on the side of the will, the fate can be changed. But if divine providence is on the side of fate, the will cannot change it. Yeah. So most probably, in this case, the divine providence is on the side of the will of Savitri. She comes with that support of the divine, and so she can change fate. That's why it's so important to give ourselves to the divine will, because only then things can happen, right? If we don't, then things do not happen. They go round and around uselessly, absolutely waste of time in every way.
Something may be deciding that every now and then death coming in and breaking up this marriage is not acceptable. So that is why new marriage required.
Right. Death was a part and is a part still of the bigger scheme of things, yes, because inconscient is there, and it was a great achievement to arrive at death as such, because death is cleaning up everything, all the mess what we created in the half-developed state. We don't want to be frozen in this half-developed state. So the death is clearing up the path towards the future. It is a very tough job, actually.
Last time you read out, death helps us not, and we all sort of laughed over it. So,
Right. Death helps us not as souls who are evolving, yes. It will not stop us from this evolution. It will just help us, actually, truly speaking, because we are not capable of being divine immediately. So we need a process, and that process requires cleansing, yeah, and evolving. What is evolution itself? And that stream which can never stop, which can never reach its sea, that Puchirvina says. So, that stream requires someone to remove things from the picture. So that is the death work. Long ago, I wrote an article which was what the Lord of Death did not know, it was called. It was very ambitious to write that way. But I saw it in Savitri that he really didn't know one thing, that he wasn't the final answer of all things. He didn't know, for example, and he should not know, but that is interesting. He should not know because otherwise he would not be totally, sincerely doing his work. He has to believe that nobody is allowed to be immortal who is not absolutely perfectly divine. That is his major task. So, and it is really sanctioned by the divine, most probably. Otherwise, so he is doing it sincerely. He removes every imperfection. He challenges every claim. Yeah, that's what he does with Savitri. Yes. He does not believe it till the end. And at the end, when he already realizes that that is the Divine Mother, he says, okay, I see that the Divine Mother is with you, he says. But where is thy power? Yeah, I see Divine Mother is with you, knowledge is with you, everything is good. But where is your power? Just challenge me on the last. And then she invoked that power, which gobbled him and destroyed to death. Because he says, because this world is made by power, not by knowledge. Show me the money. Don't tell me something idealistic. Show me what you can do. Show me the money was lame joke.
This aspect of creation, sustenance, and the destruction. Is it the reality of all
Yeah,
the universes that are created?
I think so. Even in the universe beyond, where there is no psychic, because psychic being is kind of confined to earth. Just look at us. We are miraculous creation. We are in the physical body, which is growing. From the childhood, we grow to this being, yeah? And then we are shrinking slowly. And what is all this about? Just think of the simple thing. How come our consciousness is totally different from this? Yeah, this is the bodily part, and there is a consciousness which cannot take it, cannot believe it. We are immortal in our consciousness. That's why we are always surprised how come that all this is changing. And then when we accept evolution, that immortality becomes beautiful, because this is the aim of not only of our soul, but of our body. And then we know why we are here. That's what we are doing here. That's why we can't take it fully, because we are not in sync or in unison with the spirit. We are constantly off. We are always delayed. And we must suffer that kind of cleansing. Because once we are in unison with the spirit, we don't need to leave the body. Body will be immortal. Yeah. If consciousness and power come together in full harmonization, as it is in the supermind here on earth, then why to leave it? It's totally capable to renew itself all the time. We are not capable to renew ourselves. Of course, some biologists are working on it. They think they will find some elixir which will help some rich people to stay forever. but that is an illusion, I believe.
So this death is actually a kind of transformation, that the power or the force shifts, because Rudra is supposed to have 11 different forms, and the first form they say is Mahakala, the time. And the last one, even Hanuman is associated. I don't know, these are coming together for me. So it's just the force shifting shape, if it has any meaning.
Yeah. Right. Shape shifter. We are all shapeshifters. And what Sri Aurobindo brought forward, which was not really clearly understood, but even by Indian tradition, which is so rich. Everything is there. But one thing was not clear, is the evolution of the soul. You will not find it anywhere. They treat the soul as not evolving being. And this is something which your abandoned mother brought, psychic being on earth, psychic presence in nature. This was not known. In this hymn, we can see it, yeah. In the Rig Veda, but it is so kind of symbolized, so hiding behind the symbols, that hardly anyone can break to that depth. Why Surya willingly married Soma? Why? Why to go into this dark universe? Because the delight is there to be discovered, yes? The divine delight, the growth of consciousness, greenery, the delight in the manifested body, physical body. Actually, everybody, as Mother says, and Sri Aurobindo, that longs for this delight. All these typal beings, they want to try that, embodied delight. Bread and butter and cheese. This is such a delight you cannot have in heaven. Really, you cannot. They want it, but they are scared, because for that they have to be embodied, and that implies a lot of of other things, what we suffer for this delight. There was one movie, very funny, something angels, and when the angels embodied, one friend of his embodied, plunged down and got into physical body. They were typal beings. They were so happy in their heaven. They didn't feel any hunger, any thirst, any pain. And then suddenly he was here with all the pain, with all the suffering. But he asked him, angel asked that other angel who fell into the body, what is here so attractive for you? He said, peanut butter. The taste of peanut butter was the greatest discovery. Now think about it. It's funny, but really it is peanut butter. It is soma within that inexpressible delight in the physical being, which the divine wanted to taste. It changes our view on our embodied state, actually, if you think that way. Of course, it's not very healthy, peanut butter, what to do. It's very tasty. All right, we can stop here and then continue next time if there are no more. Or somebody needy wants to say something, no? No? I thought you were. Or Robin. Robin never spoke already. I thought, Robin, but do you have some thoughts?
Not really.
Not
But well, we're
He agrees with the peanut butter.
yeah, I might substitute almond butter. It's a little bit better for you.
Good. Almond butter. Who has something else in mind? Peanut butter, almond butter.
Gruyere cheese.
Cheese.
Mm,
Fondue. Yeah.
will do, yeah.
That's what I'm here for. That's the purpose.
Yeah,
Great.
there's so many things. I mean,
Yeah.
life is such a magical experience, and everything about it is magical.
Yeah, this marriage of Surya and Soma is ongoing, producing these souls in the body.
Vladimir, I have to say something
Yeah.
very different. But in the movie Rasputin, there is a place where Rasputin says, "The soul belongs to God, but the body belongs to me," and something like that. I found that dialogue very interesting somehow. That-
Rasputin was super egoistic being, as he wanted to have his share. Okay, soul is yours. Okay, but body is mine. Yeah,
My
right. He is mistaken, I guess. Body is not his. It is the divine's body.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be good if he would realize it sooner. There would be no revolution in Russia, and there would be no that disaster which Russia creates nowadays. Putin, Rasputin. Did you notice?
Hmm,
Just
interesting.
great. You, Robin, you were going to say something, but Rasputin took you away.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking how it's interesting that you brought that up. Very interesting. But that you're talking about our bodies. Yeah, that's something I think I brought up a while back, is that, we didn't make these bodies that we're inhabiting. So, we really can't truthfully say that they're ours. You know, people think about this is my body and I can do what I want with it. No, that's not actually true because we didn't make them. We didn't decide when we were going to be born. We don't decide when we're going to die. And so it's another force that decides these things for us. And as you were saying, it's our ability to surrender to that divine force that caused us to be is how we really evolve ourselves into the beings that you were talking about, which is ultimately, if we can achieve that state of, I forget how you put it, but when we become one with the divine, while we're in the physical body, then we become immortal beings. And that can happen physically as well as not just our soul.
Right. And there are stages to this, and Mother describes the stages. If we would never know about this. Nobody speaks about immortality of the body, only in the Veda. Stages are very clear. The immortalization of first of the mental and then the vital body has to be done before. So they become immortal. Mother created immortal mental and immortal vital being for herself. And when she was working with the body directly with the light, she said she let them go and walk some. She freed them away from the interference into the transformative process with this physical. Interesting. So they should not kind of filter the divine force acting upon the physical, because we always filter through our feelings, through our thoughts, through our dogmas. And once we filter all that, there is hardly anything left for the physical. Everything is stuck in our, and confirms our own mental and vital beliefs and experiences. And unfortunately, this is a very long process to transform the mental, vital, and then there will be a chance for the physical to be fully dealt with, in direct manner. Of course, indirectly, force works on the physical, because otherwise it cannot change mental without physical being changed partially. Absolutely. But so there's the whole science behind it. It's not just an idea or some kind of myth. There's more to it. Mother kind of practiced it in her life, and it is documented in Agenda, 13 volumes. You can read what she was going through. This is a most important document for us for the future.
Mm.
And it is that very Savitri about whom we are talking today, who descended to save the soul of on earth of humanity who was destined to die. Great. Okay, we will stop here. I will close with mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Anyhow.
Mm.